Welcome back, and today we're going to be walking through the LaserPecker design software. I'm specifically going to be showing you Android, but this applies to most of the applications, whether they're on iOS, the iPad, or the PC. Now, I feel like the Android app has the most functionality, and there isn't feature parity between them. Try and pay attention to what the features are called, as they should map between the apps, but note that some things are missing, say on the PC app that might be on Android, and sometimes vice versa. Within the Facebook group, I've noticed people being confused by certain aspects of the application. I'm going to try and help remove some of that confusion with some of the basic usage of the application. I'm also going to walk through some of the advanced features such as laser delay and experimental features where you can send one layer at a time to the laser and set settings per layer. Now that is super useful when doing the material test. If you're interested in understanding how to do the material test, go check out my other video that's exclusively on the material test. So I already have my LaserPecker 5 on. I'm already connected, and I'm going to hop into the create. I'm going to pull in my logo. Now, one of the questions that I see a lot is about material settings. So I'm going to go into here to preview, go next, hit general engraving. I'm going to do 4K. And a lot of times people want to go here and they're like, there's no material settings. One thing is it matters what resolution you do. So if we hop back out, we go back. This time we're going to select 2K. And now you actually see some settings in here for materials. One thing to note is these are just presets in order to set the various settings in here for like the power, for the depth, and I don't know that it sets the pass. But all they are is presets to get you these settings. They don't really matter because you need to figure out what those settings are yourself, either searching the Facebook group or doing the material test yourself. So when you go into higher resolutions, they might not be there, but that's just because they don't have a predefined set of settings. You can go check out the LaserPecker material settings on their website. But overall, I never use this. This always ends up just being set to custom for me. I figure out what my settings are, and I manually just set them to whatever they need to be. I'm going to go change the size of this to 20 millimeters and align center. Now right now you can see here I have this set to fill. And what that's going to do is it's going to engrave the area that you can see as solid there. So I'm going to take this business card here. We're going to preview. I'm going to set the focus to where the two dots touch, and then I'm going to actually bump it up 2 notches. I'm going to do general engraving settings here, and I'm going to do this at 4K. I've already done some tests, so I know what settings I'm going to use for this. So I'm going to use the 1064 nanometer laser. I want this engraving to be pretty even, so I'm going to change the frequency up to 60 since I'm just hitting the surface. I'm not trying to cut through this. I'm going to set the power down to 1. I'm going to set the depth to 1, and then I'm going to set the passes to 3 here. And then I'm going to run this. So I don't know if you could tell that first pass it wasn't even. That's why I did multiple passes to even it out. And it has like a nice white look to it. So the other thing you can do is switch this to stroke. And that's going to do an outline of the shape. So this originally was an SVG. And so it's going to run the laser around the lines. It's not going to go back to forth, left to right. And this is usually what you want when you're trying to do cutting. One confusion that people have here is if they go over to layers and they go into engraving layers, they'll see that this is line and they want it to be in the cut. But there's really no difference because this is going to run the line, which is all that matters. It's not that it's going to do a cut, and your settings are going to determine it actually cutting through the item. So we're going to go into preview here. I'm going to align that where I want it. Again, my focus is set 2 clicks up from where it's in focus. I already know what the settings are for this, so I'm running, you don't set a resolution for this because it's running the line. It's not doing the same kind of dots. And I'm going to be doing 1064, but this time, since I'm trying to cut through, I'm actually going to lower the frequency down to 26. I'm going to set the power up to 100, the depth to 15, and I'm going to do 255 passes. And while that sounds like a lot, we're only doing a depth of 15, so this is actually going to go rather quickly. So that was real time. It only took 22 seconds to do that. Let's see if I pull this up here. I think I can pop this out. Maybe it didn't burn all the way through. But there you go. That's actually cut through the material. And you can actually see through it. So certain materials are very sensitive to the heat. So if you have an uneven laser movement, the look of it will be different. I'll show you what this looks like for the laser movement. You won't necessarily see it on the results of this aluminum business card. But say we have a name like Owen. I'm going to increase the size of this to make it a little bit more obvious what's going on. But what you can see is the capital O is above the rest of the word. And by default, what's going to happen is it's just going to move where it needs to engrave. So for the top, when it starts moving its way down, it's only going to be doing the O at the same speed as it's going to do the rest of the word. When it runs from the top of the W, E, and N down, it has to go further side to side. So it actually takes longer for it to do its engraving. So what's going to happen is there's less heat on that. I'm going to do 2 clicks up. But what I want you to pay attention to is the top of the O compared to the rest of the word. I'm going to actually run this one at 2K. And we're going to run it at 1064, 60. I'm going to actually bump the depth up to 3 to hopefully be able to see what's going on more. But we're only going to do 1 pass here. Let me do that again. I'm actually going to set the depth higher. Now we're going to compare that with, let's go into settings here, and we're going to turn laser delay on. What's going to happen this time is it's going to pretend that it has to go the full width, even for the top part of that O, even though there's nothing to engrave, so that it has a consistent amount of time that it's spending over the different lines. Notice how it seems like it's going slower, the top part of the O? That's because it's pretending it's going all the way left to right. So it seems like a consistent speed for the top of the O as the rest of the engraving, where on the first one, it seemed like the top of the O was going much quicker. So I don't know if you can tell there, but the bottom one is actually a little darker because it's actually getting sort of hit less in a way, because per line it's spending an equal amount of time over the spaces. It doesn't show up super well on here, but for certain materials, especially when you have text like this, where this O is by itself, or here where there's this section that's missing in the logo, it will hit this spot a little bit harder. And so a good time to use this is when you're using like lettering, and especially if it's very small. Now, some other settings to look at are if you go into the experimental features. I talked about this when I'm talking about the material test, but being able to send single elements by themselves, and also having the parameters. So if you turn these on, so let's pull my logo back in here. We're going to leave that as fill, and then what we're going to do is we're going to add a shape. We're going to add a circle, and let's make that circle, I don't know, let's say 25. No, let's make that 20. Let's align both of these layers together, and let's center them. Let's make the circle a little bit smaller. Actually, no, that's fine. Let's make that circle actually a little bit bigger because it's cutting off a little bit of my logo. Let's make this 23. Select them both again. Let's align center and align center of the laser. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go over to layers here. We're going to go into engraving layers. We can set our settings for each layer. So for the fill, I want this at the 1064. I want this at 60. And we want 1 for power, 1 for depth, and we want 3 passes. And then we're going to actually cut out the circle, and that's going to be at 1064, but 26, 100 power, 15 depth, and 255 passes. One thing I want to do is go back into the settings and set off this laser delay and turn off the laser delay, because I know I don't want that for this. Let's go into preview here. We can see the 2 different boxes here. It's going to send each of these engraving, actually, so one thing you want to check before you do this engraving is make sure you go into layers, go back to normal layers, make sure you have all the layers that you want to do selected before going into preview. And it's going to send these one at a time. I believe the fill layer will go first, then the cutting layer. And that pops right out. And so now I've engraved my logo onto this business card, and I've cut it out into a circle. I hope this is another helpful video that improves your usage of your LaserPecker, so you can go out and create cool projects. Make sure to check out the description for links, and also hit me up in the comments for future videos you would like to see.